This is not what Athlean meant by face pulls. And so I'm not on the Instavirus anymore, the devil took my page, but through a process of osmosis, Devin Levesque has forced his way into YouTube, where he recently collaborated with a large channel. The person who runs that channel I think is a very decent guy, and I recognized him from Alan Roberts' video.
There is almost no chance that dude's name is not Vince.
And as the unofficial, self-appointed protector of the YouTube realm, whoop whoop, this is the sound of the police. Me and my pet tarantula, who stops me sleeping, were not about to allow functionless Devin to drive his drivel into YouTube. Look at that dumbbell. And the weight. And this person has a huge following on the Instapopper, approaching 300,000 people, and make no mistake about it, the redundant circus tricks that he performs in the gym can potentially seriously hurt him, seriously hurt the people who take part in his stunts, and also his impressionable followers. And at this point, I get that one person who says, James, relax. No one is going to copy what he's doing. But in case you're still not plugged into the matrix and you believe that, this guy literally encourages his followers to copy what he is doing when he says stuff like this. Well, that was sketchy. Tag someone to try this. Ain't much grey area there, is there? And if you think my title was a little bit harsh and out of character, just wait to see what functionless Devin has in store for you.
Introducing Instagram idiocy, which is a subset of the Instavirus.
Including watching 3 biscuits jumping over a man bench pressing. Firstly, what are those? Followed by this donut crashing into the camera. I think that's what they call karma. Followed by another biscuit, and then my man Devin jumping over the man, barbell bench pressing, and catching a medicine ball mid-flight. Chris Herrier is like a health and safety manual compared to this guy. And out of interest, why did they place this lady there? And how did they advertise for this role? Woman needed to stand and watch 3 donuts challenge 3-year-olds for maturity level. And so let's get the serious stuff out of the way. This guy is creating an environment where he is risking danger to himself, the people in his videos, and his impressionable followers. These people have to keep upping the ante for Instagram loves, consistently trying to create something new, a niche, reinventing a wheel, which indeed is actually redundant in terms of any significant physiological benefit from performing their training in this manner. The reality is, this is not some unique, significantly beneficial protocol for their development towards their goals. These are purely circus tricks for social media fame. That is all. Want to play catch? How about I throw some brain cells at you and see if you can catch some of them? Literally, no words needed for this one. And so this is one of the rare clips where he does give a disclaimer. However, again, slightly peculiar, because he says, make sure you do this with supervision. No, don't do this at all, ever. Even if you had supervision from someone as competent as Devin himself, there ain't no way that someone watching and supervising would be able to change the sudden injury that could be caused from dangerously throwing and catching barbells. So I'm not certain what Henry VIII would have done with this jester, but let's just say I have a fair idea. And I've made a video about functional training where I explain that the word functional training can mean many things, and it's really on a spectrum. And I said stuff like this. And functional training as a concept is an umbrella term. It encompasses so much. It's a spectrum. It's a spectrum of exercises which meet specific goals, which increase functional capacity, again, depending on you and your characteristics. And people like Devin Levesque are eroding the integrity of training. This art form which is being butchered for social media fame. And Devin does part own the gym that he's performing these stunts in, which does make sense because any other gym with any common sense would kick this man out of the gym for endangering his own health and others. And next to his inadequate ground posts, you will not see any physiological explanations or unique benefits or deeper scientific reasoning for why he's performing this nonsense, because there is none. What you will see is him saying things like this: challenge yourself, who's up next, tag someone who can do this. Basically phrases to encourage other people to do what he's doing, to share his content and further build his Instavirus page. And if you are someone that believes that this guy is somehow a legitimate coach, my advice to you is to run as fast as you can, but not on an inclined treadmill with a plate over your head. So introducing Devin, levitation. If I wanted to see levitation, I would ask Chris Angel to do the foot thing. Freak my mind, Chris. The adjustment this lady makes when you almost kick her in the face, Devin, for her to then continue with a straight face to pretend that you are somehow a legitimate coach when you're performing this nonsense on camera. Fair play to this lady for not saying, stop, no, stop. This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm off. And here are some words of wisdom from Devin Levesque. Sometimes you almost break your neck. Just gotta laugh it off and do it again. And so as much as I don't think it's likely, I'm hoping that some of this stuff and some of these so-called influencers in the future may become a distant memory, in the same vein that Devin having healthy joints will become a distant memory when he does stuff like this. And make no mistake about it, this is not a sustainable long-term chronic way of training. These are short clips that he's producing purely for Instagram. This is not some form of long-term beneficial progression of a subset of functional training. Tag 2 athletes who you think can do this, and I will tag 2 legitimate strength and conditioning coaches who can actually effectively train you towards your specificity. You try sitting up with 135 pounds is again a negligent statement, Devin. You encourage people to do what you are doing through so many of your posts. However, what I thought I would do with this one is actually add my own filter on it in the same vein that these people love their Instagram filters. And so I'm going to replay this clip with some accurate sound effects which reflect what is going on within this man's body. And so he does have spotters, which is good, who he labels as the best spotters in the game, even when they're taking the load during this position of the bar being extended over his head. Planks, anyone? It's one right here. What is she doing? Literally squatting on a man's back when it's in a mechanically compromised position, which literally is what the plank is. The isometric contraction of the muscles to maintain a strong posture. Apparently, the Instavirus is contagious to the touch. I had so many jokes about kicks to his nuts. However, just going to leave this clip here for you. Someone call up Albert Einstein, because I just found the real genius. Consider this certified blowing of my mind. And again, look at this kettlebell. And the weight. 2 words, Steve Cotter or Steve Maxwell. Any of the Steves, just not this guy.
Don't be ridiculous.
And I know what some people will say, well, he's really impressive with his balance, yada, 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 yada. But he's also one slip away in some of his stunts from absolutely destroying his body. At which point, his Instagram career is over and his long-term health seriously compromised. But don't worry, we still have plenty of Instavirus left waiting in the wings. And so let's see where functionless Devin is in 10 years and if his body is as banged up as Vince's is. This is why I'm making this video, because the problem with the bastardization, I think that's a word, of functional fitness is it leads to people doing stuff like this. In most cases, all you've heard is this divisive functional versus non-functional. In many cases, it's not your fault. It's the fault of the people giving you misleading information. And so at this point of scrolling through this man's Instagram page, I was severely stressed because I ain't got time for this. I need to get back to watching Cali Muscle cook oatmeal for 10 minutes. If you think that content sounds terrible, it's because it's terrible. And so the more that these people's audiences grow and the more followings they get from performing these redundant and dangerous circus tricks, the more they're going to keep upping the ante and looking for more extreme things to perform on camera, aka more fitness, which is going to increase the risk to him, the people in his videos, and his followers. And so Devin Levesque, aka Functionless Devin, my parting message to you is that your tunnel vision is going to give you a first class ticket straight to Snap City. I'm James Lincoln, this is Shred Sport Science. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.